I cannot stress it enough. Like, the game was crack already, no pipe. All right, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Made. You already know. I guess this would be like my first. I'm not even gonna call this a review because I don't think it's fair to review games while they still in early access before they officially release. This game right here is in early access. If y'all been around the channel, y'all been seeing me play it. I play it often, post about it often. Shout out to Love C Shorty. This is Bloody Knuckle Street Boxing. Today, he updated the community with a devlog that a lot of us been waiting on. We've been waiting on an update as well. But that's taking nothing away from the developer of this game because he is always cooking, as we could see by this devlog that he dropped today. So we're gonna get right into it. I'm not big on the formalities.
And Pat Zero.
And so I'm gonna let him talk, and I'm gonna just pause it, you know what I'm saying, at certain points when I see things or when I want to speak on something or say something, man. And or I just want to inform y'all about something that's different. But off top, just to show you the work. Even before I press play and let this ride, the character model you see typically in BKSB, this is the character model you're gonna see, or what it was before this update comes out right here. Each character model was the same. You couldn't change the color and whatnot. You had customization related to like the hoodie color, the top, the shoes and whatnot that you have on. Like they had boxing shoes, running shoes, and whatnot, but you couldn't change your skin tone, and you always pretty much had to be in a sweatsuit, dressed like your trainer, sweatsuit lame. So off top, you could see right here, this character right here already has the like the shorts on, and he's got the boxing boots on. They look like they might have a little bit of difference from the previous ones, but we'll see when that comes out. Secondly, the venue, as you can see, the canvas right here, you can see a logo. This logo right here is for Doghouse Fight Club. It's a league that was started for BKSB. So I'm not sure if we'll be able to put our own logos or how. I'm not sure how that's all going to work. If these are venues that are already in the game, or if we could, you know, somehow get the logo in there ourselves. But either way, that's neither here nor there. I'll let them.
Point 5, we'll be taking another dive into the fluff zone where we'll be expanding the visual aspects of BKSB with new gear, new venues, and a visual damage system. There's also going to be new input functions added.
All right, so so this right here, as you see, like they sparring and they have headgear, but they also have the torso gear. Previously, we had the headgear, but he didn't have the torso gear in there. I know with a boxing game, obviously, logically, you would think that's going to get in there. So I'm sure it was going to be in there sooner or later. But also, some people in the community requested it, and there you have it right there. So
you can further display your understanding of the sweet science. But before we dig into that, let's talk about the new archetype system.
It just watch, it gets dirty. So let me say one other thing before this update. Like I said, everybody had the same character model, so you could pick different guards, and then your play style kind of had to come from, like, you know, hopefully what you wanted to do, what you saw fit, what you saw the need was for at that time. But you couldn't really change like your body style or have a different archetype. So you couldn't be tall and lanky, you couldn't be short and stocky and get the benefits that possibly come with a fighter of that magnitude. So check this out right here though.
In this patch, we'll be getting into the nuances of 3 different body types: stocky, lanky, and balanced. The stocky archetype is around 5'8" with minimal wingspan. Where he thrives is agility and punching power in close quarters.
So one other thing I noticed that's new, like that little kind of that rush up right there that he did to get inside when he was outside there, that we couldn't previously do. So you have movement, but the movement has been changed, and he's gonna tell you more about it.
Wingspan. Where he thrives is agility and punching power in close quarters. He'll also be more durable due to his overall thicker frame. The cross guard works really well for him on the inside.
So if you notice, just even what's going on back here in the fade outs during the scene switch or whatever. Watch what's going on. Watch the stocky guy over here. Watch his guard. Watch what the other guy is doing. Watch the punches he's throwing. Watch where they're landing. Watch what's happening or where they're not landing. No other, if you into the boxing and you into gaming, no other game out there mashes the two together like this right here. So just watch the background graphics while he's saying what he's saying.
The cross guard works really well for him on the inside.
Look at that, bro.
The lanky archetype is around 6'2" with a long wingspan.
All right, so I got to stop it right here because this clip right here, earlier I had to clip it and throw it in the Discord because it was too slick, but you just got to peep it. So he's talking about the lanky archetype. Watch the guy on the right side, which is the one that I'm assuming is the one you need to be watching that he's showcasing, the lanky archetype. And I'm going to slow it down to 0.5 real quick because I always just love slow-mo, especially for detail, especially for this game. If you watch a video on YouTube on Bloody Knuckle Street Boxing, I challenge you, hit that slow it down 0.5 or whatever you need to see. And watch what you see. You're going to see some beautiful stuff. But check it out. Watch over here on the right side of the screen.
The lanky archetype is around 6'2" with a long wingspan.
He says around 6'2" with a long wingspan. But watch how he's going to punch. He's going to punch. He's going to switch stances and then dash back. And then as he dashes back, his opponent's going to come forward. He's going to kind of like lean down and roll under what his opponent coming toward him. And his guard is going to change all while he's doing it. And even when he dashes back, just watch. You'll see him put his gloves. It looks like he's probably blocking the body because when you're in the long guard and you block the body, it kind of resembles the Philly. So you'll see like how it looks. But, man, this game is clean. Watch him over here on the right. Switch stance, go back, kind of roll under right there. And then he pivots out. And then it looks like he goes to, put his guard up and get more safe. It's ridiculously clean. So that type of stuff wasn't possible in the previous version. I mean, you could move like that. I could punch in, I could switch my stances on the step back and then roll under. But adding the implications of being a tall, lanky fighter, trying to keep the fight on the outside, the stocky fighter trying to come inside, it's just going to make for a whole new mix of nuances and tendencies, I guess. Shout out Poetic. Shout out Poe, man. Shout out Poetic Drink to you. He peeped that. It's going to bring out a lot of different engagements and tendencies, and just it's going to make for the sweet science to be that much more sweeter on Bloody Knuckle Street Boxing, for real. So if I was y'all, I would get in right now.
Distance fighting, but his weakness is guard strength and body tolerance. I'd recommend using the long guard with him and avoid clinching whenever possible.
So that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like his weakness is, he said something, and I know he said body tolerance. So, when you're a taller, lanky fighter, typically you're going to want to keep the fight on the outside, use your stick, keep the opponent away, move around and whatnot. You'll be more vulnerable to attacks to the body, at least. As far as the damage, I don't know that it should vary, but as far as the vulnerability and not wanting to be on the inside, I mean, that makes all the sense in the world. The archetypes allow for the game to still remain skill-based while also adding some level of more personalization in there. It's skill-based, but then it adds length for the lanky fighter, shortness and stockiness for the stocky fighter, and then balance for the mid fighter. Like it kind of takes care of like the long and skinny and light and short and fat and heavy. It kind of takes care of that, or the weight classes, I guess you could say, with this, but still keeping it skill based. You know what I mean? Because everybody still is going to have the same skills, and then even more skill would be shown if you're able to use the archetype that you like or want and get your sick off against maybe a different type of archetype that's not, styles make fights. So it's adding more of that to the game. I'm sorry. One other thing. Again, watch what's happening in the graphics on the scene switches during the scene transitions, man. Just watch the background. What other game can you do this in? The tall fighter probing with the jab.
The balance archetype sits in the middle around 5'10", and there's really nothing special about him. He's the guy that resembles Sweatsuit Lane when it comes to size.
Pink. I could be tripping, but it looked like it might have just been a little accident, you know, a little quick glitch or something. But it looked like he put one of his hands behind his back before he threw that. You know what I'm saying? So let's watch that fighter in slow motion when he ran up to the other guy real quick. Let's see what happened there. Watch the guy on the left. Yeah. Bink. I don't know. It looked kind of intentional to me. I don't know.
There will be more Suit Lane when it comes to size.
I don't know.
There will be more archetypes later down the line, but there's balancing that needs to be done before we get too deep into it.
Balancing.
This is street boxing, so weight classes really have no place in this world. Just keep that in mind. We'll also be expanding the blood system. Now you'll be able to see visual damage on the fighters in the form of swelling, cuts, and blood stains.
Getting heavy.
This system will take into account the type of punches you've taken, your recovery during breaks, and whether you've been hit with gloves or bare knuckles.
So you hear that? Like it's like two different games pretty much. The original direction of the game, if I understand it correctly, was obviously bloody knuckle street boxing. But then at some point people kind of asked for simulation boxing, and that kind of, you know, the road took that turn. But as you see, the street boxing is still there, and the things that go on with the game, the changes with the game are still adding to the direction of that as well. So I know a lot of people out there like, you know, bare knuckles and whatnot, and this is gonna just take it up another notch. The damage, being able to see previously in the last build, you could see blood at some point. So in the previous one, when you would land a power shot, you'll see sweat. If not, you won't see sweat. And then as you damage the opponent more, you would see blood instead of sweat. So now we're going to be able to see the cuts, you know, see them opening up and whatnot. So it's just going to give that much more immersion, that much more realism to it, that much more, for lack of a better word, you know, fluff, because the foundation you can see it is very well stable, very much stable.
There are 23 possible cuts you can suffer, all of which have a 3-way progression system similar to the damage system you already know.
Pumpkin heads. Giving out pumpkin
As you've requested, I've done some balancing and added some new input combos to the controller map to widen the skill gap even more. After hearing your complaints about the limitless use of the duck mechanic, I've adjusted the feature to reduce the recovery speed of your stamina as you go deeper into a squat. The more you squat, the slower you recover.
So as far as that, I'm not sure who was I don't know about. I guess he was saying like the overuse of the duck mechanic. So I don't know. I mean, that it makes sense. You know, you go way down, you're not gonna be able to pop up as fast. We'll see how that plays out. You know, I know for me, I never really had an issue with anybody ducking, because like that's a natural movement that you could do in life. And so I don't know, if people just stand there and they just stay ducked, they could do that. You got tools to kind of combat it, and that's just a look on how they decide to play. That's just my opinion. You know, I'm not on the dev team. I don't represent this game or anything. I just like it a lot, and I'm part of the community. But that's just my opinion with it. I don't know about the ducking thing, but I'm all for mechanics that, again, try to add to, you know, the simulation of it all. And yes, like if somebody was in a fight and they decided to like stay ducked down, you know, I would imagine their thighs, you know, if you stay in a squat position, your thighs are gonna start to hurt. Bottom line, you know. That's it, pretty much. So I'm not against that.
The
But
first
you're
of the
welcome.
new input combos is a body parry.
So I'm gonna pause it right here, and just go ahead and get this on record. Anybody again who like is in the Discord or in the Bloody Knuckles community, y'all know my thoughts on the parry in Bloody Knuckles. But again, that's another thing that, you know, you just, especially when it comes to these video games, especially in these days and times, you know, people they're gonna use what they need to use and play how they want to play, and you just gotta find a way to engage or not if you choose. But I'm I, I'm glad that they looked at it, and before previously you could parry all the up top shots. I think you just had to guess you had to be holding block and then guess whatever input your opponent, like guess whatever punch. You had to throw the punch they were throwing basically, and then you parry it. But I guess there's some other nuances to it. I don't know because I never got deep into the parry because, again, in my opinion, it's too easy to use, and it's too easy to just either do it all the time or guess the lead hand jab and have a pretty good success rate on that dice roll, and just randomly be doing that. But again, that's just my opinion. And again, part of that is I know, you know, we got to try to gamify things in order to be able to do them. So I'm all for options in video games. I'm glad it's here. In my eyes, speaks to a developer looking at their game, seeing how they could add things, and seeing how they could, you know, just take one more step to add to it. So I'm not against it at all. Keep it rolling.
To perform a body parry, click in the right stick while blocking.
I got one other thing on that. The only thing I would say for me, I want to be able to put my hands down on R3. So, you know, that the R3 input is a spot that it's important, I think, and it holds a lot of weight, that R3 space on a controller, because I want to be able to drop my hands, like, you know, in the midst on the fly back and forth. That's another story. But small potatoes and all those things are personal things for me. As far as for the game, the fact it's on R3 and it's an option, I'm going to try to work it in and make sure I ain't getting hit to the body all day, every day, because we know that's a thing too.
I'm hoping this adds caution to the body snatchers as they now have to fear counterpunches coming back at them. In patch 0.5, we'll be graduating to a pressure-sensitive locomotion.
So for anybody who don't know what that means, basically that means when you have a game controller in your hand, you press the left stick all the way to the right. Previously, when you would press the left stick all the way to the right, you will move the same speed as if you barely pressed it. Whereas now it has a sensitivity. So if you press the left stick all the way to the right, you're going to move at full speed. If you push it just a little bit, you're going to move at different various speeds, which again speaks to a developer looking to see like, hey, how can I improve? I know a lot of people had issues with the movement. They wanted faster or this and that. I think it'll work out beautifully. I think it'll add for a lot of different type of engagements. I think it'll also help defensive fighters for when you're trying to back up and you see somebody's, you know, they coming with that extra trying to get around to your side, whatever. So I think that'll help defensive fighters as well, or defensive-minded fighters, I should say. Again, it speaks to a dev looking to improve their game, add that immersion, and give you more options. The community is going to do what the community wants to do with those options.
Loose movement now lies in the outer limits of this locomotion. This upgrade has freed the controller map for what I call the adapt system. The former loose movement system has been reverted back to dashes that can be strung together in combinations to trigger maneuvers.
Bro, just look at what's happening here. Like, I can't stress it enough. Like, what else? I don't know what more anybody needs to see. Like, again, and I felt this way before I saw all this. I have older videos where I'm like, I don't know what else anybody needs to see. So I felt that way then. You add this to it, like, man, this is one of them ones. This is one of them ones. But just look at what's happening here, like in the back, in between the two fighters. I don't know if I took it back too far, and I got it on 0.25, so it'll take a minute to get there, but I don't want to keep jumping. Watch this. Watch the guy, he jump, he kind of jump, kind of step back. He go in a little bit more, put his head in there, take a jab, he missed, but dude swing, he lean out right there. As he lean out, his guard kind of come down. Just everything about it is too clean. Like the mechanics, the engagements. Look, he lands the counter when he goes in there. The sweat flies off. But the engagements, all the things you're able to do in this game, you know, you have the most options, the most control, it's all there. I know a lot of people hang on graphics and all the extra stuff. But again, over time, that stuff's gonna be there. You don't want to build your house on sand. You know what I mean? That's there. You don't want to build your house on sand. I'll just leave it at that. All right. So the previous update, well, like a patch or so ago, he was able to get the ref in the ring. This is a thing that I see other game communities, they wondering about, why is the ref not in the ring? Da 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 da. And he was able to get it in there. It was in there, the ref was all good. And then at some point, I don't know if he fell off the wagon. I don't know, I don't know. But he kind of got he just started, doing his own thing. That's what we call it. He was doing his own thing. But I know the ref is going to get back the parameters of it. It's going to get dialed in. Once he gets dialed in, it's going to be beautiful. Also, the ref, obviously, clothing wise, didn't resemble a ref. He didn't have on that blue, he didn't have that ref outfit on. So the ref got a fit, you know what I'm saying? The ref done got sauced up. The ref done went north on him. You know what I'm saying? The ref done went up on him. So
adding an active referee was one of my biggest milestones, though it didn't come out as clean as I'd like. The referee will also be getting some upgrades to his locomotion so he does a better job staying out of the way. He'll also be getting some officiating upgrades to promote cleaner fights.
Look, he got the blue on. He got the blue on. He jogging around doing his thing.
He'll also be getting some officiating upgrades to promote cleaner fights.
He ain't used to have that little
outfit so he can look.
He ain't used to have that little pep to him. He used to be watching. But like I said, every now and then he'll go, take a little break, slide back under the ropes, thinking nobody saw him or something like that. I cannot stress it enough. Like, the game was cracked already, no pipe. But now that he added the torso gear, I knew, even just being able to change your skin tone, you know what I'm saying? The character model was already my skin color, but I knew for others, and even for me, if I want to make a fighter that's not myself, you know what I'm saying? That's a stocky, short, fat, inside fighter, whatever, and I want to change this, like, that's going to bring people, that's going to just make the look of it just that much more, the optics, as people like to say, it's all about the optics. That's going to do that right there, you know what I'm saying? So clean your little camera lens, clean your little screen off, and take a look.
My AI script will be altered so that each fighter is unique in their strategy. Consider this the first step into the tendency system.
So he basically saying that, like, previously when you fought the AI, Sweatsuit Lame, the incomparable, the always available, world famous Sweatsuit Lame, we all owe it all to Lame, but when you would fight him, he had a fight style. You know what I'm saying? Lame was gonna punch you down if you wanted to go in there and try to exchange with him. Lame wasn't trying to get slick and had no head movement. Lame wasn't trying to use no parries. Lame wasn't trying to dance all around the ring. You know what I'm saying? Lame bent at the knees, put his guard up, and punched you down. You know what I'm saying? So you could work with him and do different things with what he had to offer. But once you figured him out, you could turn working with him into toying with him. You could beat him this way, beat him that way, try this, try that. But the one thing I will say is, I say, I'm going to go in here and box him, play him on the inside, and just try to box him. I'm going to just say naturally, like, let it flow. Not happening. You really got to think with Lame, Sweatsuit Lame. He's always one of my favorite fights. Y'all see me posting on him all the time because I got to think. I got to say, all right, I'm not being patient, okay? I'm on the backside, the inside, outside, this side, that side, go here, go there, move. Like, he really trains you, for the sweet science part of it. He ain't using no gimmicks. He don't know the meta. So that's why, it's always fun to fight Sweatsuit Lame. Now that we have AI upgrades to where we get to fight different tendencies, and then we could take those hopefully and apply them to real life guys that we fight on here, it's shaping up. Basically, it's shaping up to have a whole ecosystem. You know what I mean? There may be other options in gaming that you can go to punch, but to have a whole ecosystem and a community and a spot and a way that you could kind of make it a career mode almost how you want, you know, because it's skill based. You know, you can have a career mode in other games, but it's kind of muddy because you're not playing as yourself and your opponents aren't either. Throughout the whole video, I'm tripping off just the optic upgrade and what that does for me to the look of the game for just the torso gear and these shorts. I keep forgetting about regular old, you know what I'm saying, boxing shorts. I keep forgetting about that. You've seen what he's working on, what he's cooking up in this devlog here. I just felt I had to go ahead and put something together and say my piece on it. I play the game all the time. I post my little fights, so you know it's only right that I update on what's going on with it. Like I said, I don't want to call this a review, but if I had to review this game, all love to, you know, all creators out there, but it's not a scam. Yeah, get in now, man. So I think currently right now for to get in with early access, I think it's 15 right now. I could be wrong. Go check for yourself on Steam. This is that one though. Check it out.
I bet y'all niggas thought I quit.
No, I didn't. But at the end of the day, I'm the type of guy where if somebody is doing something that's their passion, their project, it's their thing that they're doing and I'm not doing it, I might have my opinions on how it should be done, but I want them to have the opportunity to do it how they see fit themselves without any outside influence. Because I know when it comes to me doing something, I want that same opportunity, you know, so let the man work, you know what I'm saying? Y'all check in with me, Bloody Knuckle Street Boxing. Go check that out on Steam. Go check the esports boxing organization out. Sometimes we throw fights up over there. It's just a little venue. I'm gonna try to develop that in the future, but that's neither here nor there. What's here is this Bloody Knuckle Street Boxing devlog. So y'all go check it out. I'm gonna also obviously link this video if y'all haven't seen it. I'll link this in the description in the bottom as well, or put it at the end somewhere. It's gonna be somewhere in here, up, down, left, right. I don't know. It's all new. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Go check it out. Bloody Knuckle Street Boxing. Made.